Hey guys, welcome to weekly market breakdown. Let's start with the top picks. So the first one is EURUSD. EURUSD on the weekly, we can see we have inversed this FVG on the weekly, and we have created a new FVG around this region. And let's go on the daily time frame. The daily time frame, we can see we are still in this uptrend around this region here, and expecting a pullback to this region, or we can come back to this weekly FVG, sweeping these lows before heading up to the upside. So this is the next week's projection, either getting a pullback to the green zone or 50% around here, and or we can come to the weekly FVG. And last week's projection was around this region to get a pullback around here to the upside, and that's actually what we got last week as well. If we drop down on the 1 hour, this was last week's trade. We got that pullback and to the green zone and that entry. This was a 2.5 hour trade, and for the next week we'll see what happens. Either we get a pullback around here to the upside, or get to the weekly and then get a pullback to the then get a move to the upside here. So then moving on to USD CAD. USD CAD last week, if we go on the weekly first, USD CAD weekly, we have that FVG around here. And if we go on the daily time frame, last week's projection was after this break to get that pullback and get that entry around here to the downside, but we didn't get that. We actually got this structure right here formed last week, during the week actually, and so next week, and if we go to hourly, this was the trade taken during the week. We were expecting, sorry, move this out of the way, expecting this trend to continue around here. So that's actually what we got. This trade was 3-hour trade last week, and for the next week, expecting this to continue to the downside with this trend. If we go back on the daily time frame, so this is the latest. This is the recent daily leg. So we can actually sweep. We can actually get this pullback around this region, or sweep this high and get a pullback into the weekly FVG before we head to the downside. So this will be interesting to see what happens over the next week. And moving on to GBPUSD. GBPUSD last week, we were expecting a pullback and a move up. That's actually what we got last week, but we didn't took any trade on this one. It didn't fit our entry criteria. We were expecting a pullback a little bit deeper, but we actually got that pullback to the 50%, so that happens sometimes as well. So we were expecting a move up, but we didn't get the entry. That's fine. But for moving on next week, expecting this bullish move to continue, and we actually are breaking these swing highs here as well on the weekly. Same here as well. If we go on the weekly chart, we have inversed this gap. We created this weekly FVG. We have tested that and moving up. So we are hoping to create that weekly swing and get that pullback, bigger pullback, and get that break. But we'll see what happens, how the daily legs form on this one as well, because on the daily we have this this leg, and I'm expecting this one to be swept into this region. Let's see how the pullback happens on this one. We can see this there's a we are bullish on this one. There's a bigger swing which has formed on, if we go on the two daily chart as well. So we can actually continue from here up to the side, or we can continue from around this region and do this as well. So we will see how this one actually forms next week. So these are the two predictions on this. We can actually go continue from here or here, from this region or this region. Let's see what happens next week. Moving on to USD CHF. USD CHF, we were expecting last week either to continue this price action to the upside or breaking this structure to the downside, but we didn't get that. Actually, we are continuing with this overall trend, and we are actually starting to make these, we're starting to respect these structures on the daily time frame as well. We have the second structure here. The only downside I think on this one, the confusion on this one is me moving very correctively. So that's the only confusion that there can be, but we are making actually higher highs and higher lows on this one. So expecting another higher low to be formed to make that higher high, something like this, and expecting a pullback either to the 50% or a little bit below to go above something like this, and we can potentially break that overall high on this one as well. And if you can see, actually we on the weekly we are pretty bullish as well. We have this swing on the weekly as well, so hoping for this trend to actually continue from here, so continuing these swings to the upside. And moving on to AUD USD. AUD USD, last week we were expecting this price action. This was projected in the last weekly market breakdown as well, expecting this pullback to go above, and during the week we got actually one more move to the upside, and for overall we are still in this weekly range from here. And for next week we can continue this daily trend, pull back to here or a little bit below, and continue with the uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. Or the another thing we can do is actually, if we go on the weekly, the only confusion with this one is how correctly this overall structure is moving. This is the only concern I have with this one. The price action is very corrective, and on the weekly as well, last week we just swept this high. This is the weekly range we are still within. We only swept the high, and the nature of this price action is very corrective. We can actually sweep this, and the only confusion is we sweep this and continue with this move to the downside, but we'll see how the price action forms with this one. So we can actually still continue with this move to the upside, or if we break this weekly next week, and we can actually get a pullback, something like this, on the bigger picture on the weekly as well. So we will see how we can only follow the daily legs to get the clear picture. So we will see how the daily legs form next week, and hopefully get sort of maybe continuation of this price action to the upside and get the pullback, and let's see how this one forms next week. But the potential of this trend to continue is still there. So moving on to NZD USD. NZD USD, last week we were hoping for this price action to break and then get a pullback to continue. But during the week we got this price action. It ranges a little bit and we get that pullback, and hopefully for the next week expecting a break to the high and this move to continue on the next week. On the weekly we are still in this downtrend as well, but we can only follow the very current price action to determine the long price action. So for the current swings we are still in this uptrend, so hoping to for this one to continue next week and form a new high and get this pullback and continue this trend next week. We'll see how this one forms as well. Interesting to see this price action as well. Moving on to USD yen. Last week in the weekly market breakdown we were expecting this after this erratic price action, we were for this trend to continue to the upside. We were expecting at least to form this daily swings to the upside, so we can get a clearer picture to see what happens. That's we are getting that upswings, but it's no very clear price action at this point as well, and still a little bit erratic in my opinion. And the weeks we are throwing down indicating a little bit more bullish price actions to swings to form, so expecting this sort of price action next week. It'll be interesting to see what happens on this one as well. So that's all guys, that's all the pairs for the next week, and these are our top picks. Euro USD is a little bit is clear, USDCAD is clear, GBPUSD is clear, USDCHF is clear, and these will be our top picks. These four will be the top picks for the next week. And yeah, that's all for this week guys. Trade safe. Thank you.